Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Vivid Voices Toastmasters Club meeting. And tonight's live podcast session, we are going to be in our new season, which is season 6. If I could change the world. Oh, this is such a very big and deep topic and season for us to have. And tonight is our first episode, which is how can you change the world with persistence? So, everyone, listeners out there, so our objective for this episode is simple yet powerful, which is to explore the leadership value of persistence, what it truly means, and what we can learn from leaders who exemplify it, and how we can each make a difference through it. Persistence is more than just trying again after failure. It's a determination to continue when the path gets tough, the discipline to stay consistent when distractions pull us away, and the courage to push forward even when progress feels painfully slow. In leadership, persistence often makes the difference between a vision that remains a dream and one that becomes reality. And to dive into this conversation, we have two inspiring speakers with us tonight. And if you have already followed us throughout our whole season, 5 seasons in total, I believe you may know them already. Let me first introduce to you our first speaker. Her name is Hanan Al-Fakih. She is currently pursuing her master's in clinical psychology. She is passionate about understanding human beings, how they think, how they differ, and what makes each of us, you and me, unique. Her leadership values of compassion, respect, and flexibility reminds us that persistence isn't only about pressing on forward, but also about leading with heart and wisdom. Next up, our second speaker for the night is Nurzahanirah Zaini, or Hani for short. She is a corporate storyteller and the international director of Toastmasters International. She is known for her ability to execute vision with clarity. And what makes her persistence unique is the way she plays devil's advocate with herself, asking the tough questions that keep her moving forward when the journey gets difficult. So with that, we have two wonderful speakers, and I believe we can actually begin our discussion for tonight. And I would like to start off with this one question. So, both our speakers, are you ready? If you are ready, I will ask you the question and you can also introduce yourself as well. So, first of all, when you think of a leader who changed the world through persistence, who actually comes to your mind and why? For this question, I would like to ask Hanan.
Thank you very much, Francis. Okay, when I'm thinking of a leader who changed the world, I think once we hear the word leader change the world, we start thinking with those very well-known names and leaders who consider public figures and have achieved lots of things. But once you ask me this question, the person who came in my mind is the person that did big effort to change a person's life, but no one knows enough about her. Her name is Anna Silvan. Have you heard about her? Anna Silvan? I think most of us don't know her, but I think some of us know her student, Helen Keller, the American author who born with difficulties to see and hear. She's a deaf and blind. But how she became an American author? She could achieve this because of her teacher, Anna Silva. When I watched the documentary and read about her in my teenager, I was really shocked how a person can be really persistent in achieving a goal and something that they believe in. Although everyone was pushing them away. And in Anna's case, even Helen's parents were pushing her away. Actually, they were kicking her outside the house, believing that their daughter cannot learn language or how to communicate or be a normal child like others. However, she faced all these rejections and resistance and all these frustration emotion from everyone and even Helen herself. And she kept working and teaching her how to pronounce and how to read and find a way to communicate. This story really inspired me. If we believe in something, if we have this vision that something could be happened, we shouldn't give up early. We shouldn't give up easily, actually. We should keep working on it and prove to other people that this can be happen. Right now, everyone knows who's Helen Keller, knows her as an author, and they are very amazed by her story. And this is what would happen if someone didn't believe in their power and in their student power. So that's the one leader that comes to my mind when we talk about the persistence value.
So much, Hanan. Wow. Yes, I believe Anne Sullivan. That's her name, right? Anne Sullivan. She's a wonderful fella. I just actually watched as well one of her movie, and she's a wonderful and remarkable fellow. Imagine that you have no sight, no hearing, and you can't form speeches, and you manage to actually help out a remarkable person, just like Helen Keller. And there is a form of persistence that you actually shared to us. And thank you, Hanan, for sharing that. And now I would like to hear from Hani. Perhaps, Hani, would you like to share on who is that one leader that comes into your mind and why?
Hi, Francis. When it comes to a leader's persistence, that I couldn't even think further than one person who founded this organization that we're in. If you've met or if you've known and heard the name Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. Now, while a lot of us in Toastmasters may know who he is, as in understood what he stands for, a lot of us don't know that he was the founder of this organization that we call Toastmasters. I speak about him because it was through his persistence over the years that today we are on the shoulder of giants. This organization is 100 years old, and being 101 actually this year, being 101 years old organization, it is amazing how it started with just one particular vision to help young men to be able to speak more eloquently. Nothing else than that. And that persistence that he had from the very first meeting to the very first official club to heading into the next club and the next club and the next club until we are 250,000 members globally today, translated in so many different languages, fighting for the exact same vision on helping one another to become a better communicator, was that one leader that I had in mind. While typically we would all go for the great big leaders, popular ones, like Hanan says, it's always the people who fight for that one same journey, not expecting for any rewards or in return, is the one that we don't see. Rafsi Smedley's version of Toastmasters wasn't popular. It's only popular after he long passed and long gone. But his vision and ideology continues on, and that, to me, what makes a great leader. One who can pass through legacies, where his legacies benefit so many others in the world. He changed the world. He changed my life at least, and I think he changed so many others too.
Thank you so much, Honey. Yes, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. And I believe that what you mentioned, vision is a vital tool for us, especially when we actually need persistence to achieve our own dream, so that it can be a reality one day. And I actually like how you bring it upon us here, especially since we are all from Toastmasters, and I believe some of our guests out there, perhaps they have never heard about Toastmasters, and they have never know what is Toastmasters all about. And what you mentioned, how his one vision to see other people get transformed through speech, through public speaking, comes about. And when you mentioned that after he passed, his vision became greater, especially when it became a reality for all of us. And right now we are now bask in his vision as well. Okay, so now I would like to ask another question, and I believe I would like to ask Hanan this question. Hanan, since you are a student in Masters of Clinical Psychology, am I right? All right.
Yes.
So I believe you have your own journey of leadership through your studies, for example, and perhaps through your life, with your family, with your friends. Can you perhaps share with us a moment in your own leadership journey? It could be in your studies, or it could also be in your life, where your persistence made the difference between giving up and moving forward. Can you share us that moment?
Well, thank you for this question, Francis. Yes, the leadership concept play a role in my life in terms of leading my own life, my own obstacles, and my own challenges, more than showing as a leader in a big context. And in this leadership journey, resistance really showed up through a failure, I can say. My educational journey, it's a very important thing for me. I really value education. Anyone who knows me knows about me. I really love my studies, and I strive a lot to achieve good result and to learn about my field, which is psychology. However, I failed a lot. I failed some courses, and sometimes I needed even to change the universities. I had comments that maybe this field is not for you, maybe you need to find something else. And I never give up. I always start again, find another university, apply again, the same challenge come again. And sometimes I even had to repeat the courses, which is really discouraging sometimes, especially when these challenges is associated with harsh attitude, because actually no one likes a failure. We like the people who shine and achieve high standards. And on top of that, I experienced panic attacks during exam, and honestly, giving up seems the best fair solution for me. But I kept going I kept going and standing up again and retook the classes and faces same challenges, and I will keep doing that until I move forward and achieve my goals. If you asked me a month ago, I would never see this as a strength or in positive way. I would find it as bad skill in leading my life or addressing my issues and challenges. But recently I became more compassionate with this. I start seeing this as really resistance. And that persistence taught me that leadership isn't about having everything go smoothly and just fitting the plan. Sometimes it's about standing up after each fail and knowing how to stand up and knowing how to lead yourself through tough time. And that mindset, right now, I can say, I can realize and I can acknowledge that it's one of the greatest strengths and qualities in my personality. Proudly. So that's for me. Back to you.
Thank you, Hanan. I believe that throughout your whole education story, it's not easy, and you have been persistent until to this point of time. And we are really, really grateful to have you here to tell us in your view as a student as well, your view as an individual here. And next up, I would like to ask Hani. Hani just now mentioned something interesting about Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. And when she mentioned about him didn't get to see Toastmasters flourish into a global movement that it is right now, where every state, every country, every area, every parts of the world has a Toastmasters club. So, but then he is still persistent. He's still adamant to actually stick to his goal, stick to his vision of having a Toastmasters club, a public speaking club. So I would like to ask Hani this question. Since you have talked about him, and you are also an international director, and I believe you are also another director of another company as well, how do you keep going when leadership, you feel like it's unrecognized, or when the progress itself seems painfully slow? How do you keep going through all of these challenges, Hani?
So, Francis, when Dr. Ralph C. Smedley started Toastmasters, he wasn't talking about more clubs. He was just talking about how many more people that could benefit from this transformation. It's nothing to do with the physical club they were in. It's about how much transformation it gives to one person, how much it empowers another person. I have a life mentor, I would put it that way. And he always reminds me that leadership is all about service, not so much on the applause. Do the right thing and do thing without expecting for anything in return. And when the thing returns, it will comes in when you least expect it. But the most important part is you are a big part of that progress, whether if it's yours or a progress on another person. I'll just put it this way. I remember, like, now the way you introduces me, like I'm, like a director here, director there. But do you know when my journey started? It started when I was a student. It started when I was a student where I don't even have a car, but I needed to go to a Toastmasters Club meeting. I waited at the bus stop, right at the final bus stop of the night. I had no plans on how do I get back home, but I do know I need to get there. So at the end of my final class, I go to the bus stop, chase after the last bus, head to Toastmasters meeting, and later on hope that one of my friends are available for me to pay them. And this was right before Grab was popular. That means that either I pay someone to pick me up, pay a taxi, or ask for a ride from anyone who lives nearby. Those are the things that, if I recall correctly, months of just pouring my heart out and not knowing what return you would give. Finally going into renewal period where I had no source of income whatsoever to pay US dollar membership. I remember having one person from my own home club then came to me and said, like, if you need money, I have a job. Would you like to do that job? I didn't even ask what job it was. I said, okay, I'll start. I'll work every weekend so that I can pay for this one membership. Never thinking about the program, never thinking about what is in return that I'll get from Toastmastering, although I knew that I was building myself up for something. Years later, when I reflected upon it, yesterday I was in Cebu, back to that home club. I was looking into a photo of mine that they put up because it was a homecoming event. They wanted to celebrate me for some reason, and they put it up, my very first speech photo, and I'm like, oh, so that's how I look like. That's how I sounded like. And yet I never thought along the line, this is where my destination is, and I have a feeling that it's not over yet. One of the guests of honor that night mentioned how his life was transformed, and now it is his duty to give back to whoever is needing this assistance and help. And I put that in mind, that I'm also needing to give back to this assistance, help, and vision to make sure that there are more of us who could benefit from them, just like me once upon a time. So Francis, if you feel like your leadership is not recognized when progress seems painfully slow, keep sight on the bigger purpose. And keeping sight on the bigger purpose has always sustained me, and he's never for 1 second doubted that something else would emerge, something better would come out.
Thank you so much, honey. Keep inside of the bigger purpose. I really like that. And I also resonate to that. And I actually find it quite interesting when you mention that you would just do anything just so that you can achieve a certain goal or a certain dream that you had, which is technically Toastmasters at that point of time. And now I would like to ask and direct my question to our listeners out there. I believe two of our speakers here may need some little water break or something, but I would like to now ask our listeners right now, because we believe here in Vivid Voices, your voice is equally good for us, equally important for us. So now I would like to ask, perhaps we can start with Mel. All right, Mel, I would like to ask you this one question. Do you have, or do you, when you imagine the word persistence, I have asked this first question to both our speakers, but I would like to hear from your side. When you hear the word persistence and leader, who comes into your mind and why? Oh, hi, Mel. Yes, hi.
Hi, sorry. I was busy doing something just now. What was it just now?
Oh, no worries. So I actually asked the same question to both our speakers.
Mm-hmm.
And that question is, when you think about leadership and persistence, who comes into your mind and why? It can be someone in your life, or it can be someone that you admire the most. We would like to hear from you.
Well, for me, I prefer that if persistent, I have a friend, and not the leadership one, but I have a friend is very persistent also, and which I admire also. Yeah. And that makes me why I admire her so much. Okay. I admire her so much. not her actually, it's a him, and he's now, I think he's still practicing as a lawyer, being a lawyer also, and he's out overseas, and that's how that we known each other since school, and I believe that he can do on his own, being a leader also in his life also. For now that he is like more to freedom, but he is practicing his law, he's being a lawyer, he's very good at it. And I just hopefully he can find the path that he choose for doing the on the lawyer pathway, It's not that easy if you being a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but I know how it looks like. So it's not that easy, but if that is the path that he chose, I support, as long as he's happy for it.
Thank you so much, Mel. Ooh, I really love it when you mentioned that your friend, in his career path, that is a sign of leadership in his own career path, and he's very persistent in making it work, especially when he is a lawyer. He do give out his persistence towards his career. And thank you for your sharing, Mel. Next, I would like to ask another person. Can I ask perhaps our general evaluator, Madam Rosanna, to share her thoughts on when you think about leader and persistence, who came into your mind and why?
Oh, thank you very much, Francis, for your question. The first person that came to my mind is my late mother. The reason why I say she's persistent is because, firstly, she started out her career as a teacher. Then she married my dad at the age of 18 years old. And she's originally from Johor Bahru. So she had to move to Brunei and leave her family behind and start a life in Brunei without having any family here. And then on top of that, she was raising 5 kids on her own. She learned how to drive. And then she sewed dresses for us. And she learned how to cook different types of dishes. And then as my dad progressed in his career, he became an ambassador, got sent to Singapore as his first posting. And she didn't have any formal education in terms of how to become a diplomat or a diplomat's wife. And she was able to organize morning coffees, attend to royalty who were flying in from Brunei to Singapore. And then she was able to mingle with all the other ladies from the diplomatic corps. And at the same time, still be my mom. So I really admire her leadership in leading, how she raised the family, and also how she was leading herself in terms of really being street smart and really just giving her best at everything that she does in order for her to make my dad successful and in turn also make everyone else in the family successful. So this is the first person that comes to my mind is my late mom.
Thank you so much, Madam Rosanna, for your sharing with us, especially on your personal story of your late mother. And I believe her experience with you made who you are right now, and we appreciate you for being here with us tonight, especially for our session here. And now I would like to direct another question perhaps to both of our speakers here for the night. And I would like to ask this one question. I believe we can start off with Hanan. Hanan, in your experience, all right, how do leaders in different cultures view persistence? Is there any unique lessons that we can learn from them?
Definitely. As someone who came from different cultural background, whether in the surrounded or in my family, I can realize that even persistence is defined in a different way in each culture. So in my experience, I've found some cultures that reflect persistence through patience, endurance, and calmness, where they quietly carrying struggles without showing weakness. It's not in a painful way as much as in a way that is associated with faith and inner strength. While there's other cultures, maybe some Western culture or African culture also, they define resistance by expressing out, and they became more open and very determined, and they keep proving themselves loudly. What I have learned from these different perspectives of the value of persistence is each one have its beauty. There's no good or bad. There's no wrong or right. The quieter form of persistence teaches us humility, inner strength, and working in ourselves more than the outsider. While the other form, the louder or the more outspoken approach, encourage confidence and resilience in the face of obstacles. For me, the lesson is that persistence doesn't come from persistence, like every value, it doesn't come in one form. It has different faces, and it can be silent, but it can be loud. But what matters is to choose and learn from all these different types and choose the right one and the right moment that serve our own goal and target. Because each time we need to use a different way to fight and keep resistance.
Well, thank you, Hanan, for sharing us, especially your background, where you come from a very rich culture, very rich background, where you go and experience different things as well. And I really love when you mention persistence that does come with different faces. All right. And also, you choose which face for you to use at a certain and different, perhaps various situation. I really love your take on that, where you learn from different cultures, different side of things as well. And now I would like to ask another question to Miss Honey here. All right. So, Miss Honey, when we talk about persistence as well, right, in our context of leadership, some would say, because since you are also an international director, some would say being a leader, being persistent is very rigid for you. Very rigid. It's hard for people to perhaps to follow certain things that you implement. So I would like to ask you this question. How can leaders balance persistence with adaptability? When can we know when to press on and when to pivot to another area, or perhaps to adapt to it? So how can we balance that?
And I absolutely love this question. I'm going to tie it with the question that you asked Hanan earlier. And when it comes to persistence, it is tied with other values. Only then you'll be able to see how persistence looks like in different people or different way of conveying them. Like how what Hanan said earlier, some persistence sounds like patience and quietness, resilience, right? And some persistence sounds so bold and loud. But what are those values teaches us? It teaches us no matter what kind of form is your persistence, it requires one important component. That component is called discipline. That's why it's always seems like it's rigid. Persistent means staying committed to the goal, but not the method. And that's where people misconcepted it. it's when you have one particular vision and you want a world that is better, it does not only mean that you need to make the world better by one main method. We should be flexible with our strategies. And that when we adapt persistence, when we adapt all these different strategies, it will be able to strengthen our persistence. At work, right, we have one main vision. So I'm a general manager of an investment holding. There's only one vision, and that vision is to make sure that our parent organization can be sustainable, self-sustaining in the long run. And with that vision, we have to find ways to make them self-sustainable. While when a person could misconcept that self-sustainable means you must have countless amount of money, that may not necessarily be true. Sustainable comes in many different forms. It can be with lots of monies. It can be lots of support. It can be a part of a different development and entity, but it still stay true to one particular vision. And that's where, in my opinion, while it sounded like rigid, we shouldn't misconcept it as discipline. Discipline is required in persistence. Yet at the very same time, the strategies, we need to be flexible about it. I'll bring it back to Rafsi's medley. When he started, it's just about helping young men. Over the years, right, more young men became better. These young men envisioned more people getting better, including women. A long time ago, women are not allowed to be a part of Toastmasters. There are policies made to make sure the first women was able to register themselves in Toastmasters Club. So, the first version of Toastmasters, Hanan and I wouldn't be able to be a part of this. But years after that, being able to help people was the key vision. It became flexible that today we are a huge organization. We have to be flexible. Definitely that, Francis.
Thank you so much, Hani. We have to be flexible. I love that way of you mentioning about persistence, where persistence is a way for us to commit to our goal. However, the method can vary by itself. So I would like to bounce back the ball to you, Hani, on this one question. Since we are all leaders in our own life, right? And I think I would like to ask Hanan as well after Hani, what daily habits or mindsets can leaders right now, each and every one of us, cultivate to strengthen persistence in the long run?
So thanks, Francis. And I apply this at work because my small group of leaders, they are wonderful leaders, but I also understand that leaders has limitation, which means that you'll get burnt out. You'll be able to lose sight on certain things when things get hard. One of the things that I encourage every week or on Fridays, we take the last 1 or 2 hours of the day before work ends to practice gratitude. We practice gratitude on just the top 3 things you're grateful about for today. And we will make it on purpose, to have that very sappy background music that makes you feel touched a little. But that was all about it. Because weeks can get hard. I remember sending my entire team on a program where I couldn't be there. And it's one of the harder things because some of them never even been there. And when I'm back, and then we did a grateful session, and they said we almost gave up. But then looking upon this week, we survived. That grateful turned into hope. On every Monday, so that is the closing of my workday. On every Monday, we'll have a huddle where we'll talk about wins from last week. And then we talk about what we will focus on this week. That created hope. Because initially they look at the week as crazy, insane, it was tough. And if we were to start the week with that mindset in mind, it would be hard. But being grateful at the end of the week, they felt like, oh, okay, that wasn't too bad. I felt grateful. I'm still alive, breathing. So on Monday, it had a new hope for them. It gave them a different perspective. And they said, it wasn't too bad. I slept over the weekend, feel better this morning, had my cup of coffee, ready for a new adventure this week. What's next, boss? And I love that every time they come in and said and do that. One of the final thing that I love doing is to set small achievable goals and have gimmick with it. I'm always extravagant in some way or so. I had 2 pieces of bells, the hand ring bells in my office. One of them are achievable at one point in another radius of the office. What we do is every single achievement, even if it's your personal ones, if you feel like celebrating, take the bell and ring it. And all of us will gather where you are. Initially, everyone felt awkward, but today they use that bell very consistently. Even when someone took out a piece of their tooth and they were worried about that for the week, they came back to work that week. The week after, they rang the bell as soon as all of us in the office and said, I took my teeth out, I'm still alive. Small celebrations, achievable goals will create that persistence in the long run. Vision needs to be celebrated every milestone it takes. A win is a win.
A win is a win indeed, honey. Yes, I do remember last time you did introduce and initiate small win celebration, especially in our WhatsApp group. All right, so I believe we can start it back again, right, guys? Okay, so now, Hanan, I would like to ask you the same question as well to you. What daily habits or mindsets can each and every one of us cultivate to strengthen persistence in the long run? Over to you, Hanan.
Okay. Actually, I would say them in 4 points. First, for me, is faith. Whatever is how you define faith. Is it to believe in yourself, to believe in the process, to believe in God and God plans for you? We have to have this faith inside us to keep going. This is 1. 2, I would say evaluation. We need to keep re-evaluating our own journey. Not in a harsh way, but to understand, as I said before, we need to know how to stand up and how to lead ourselves through difficult times. And to do that, you need to keep evaluating yourself, to keep evaluating how you work, the process, to recheck with yourself. Do you really want this goal? Does this goal really need you? Or you need to change the direction? And the third one, I would say to take care of yourself during the journey. I know how the world now is screaming of working hard. Sleep 3 hours a day. Keep working out. Don't spend time with friends. Don't waste your time in the kitchen cooking and enjoy eating. But actually, to keep resistance, you need to be good, to have a good body, to remain healthy, to take care of yourself. So don't sleep 2 or 3 hours. Sleep enough. Eat well. Take care of yourself. Do your checkup. Take your supplement. All these things is not. It's not like something that we can just forget about it. If you really want to keep going, we need to take care of this body that holding us and helping us to move forward. And the first thing, as Hani mentioned, I believe in gratitude. Gratitude just make the magic. And it's even give us the emotion to fight in peace. not to fight with pain, to keep going with some sort of calmness inside us. And this is very, very important for me. When we fight with these emotion like anger or stress, it takes a lot of our energy and it takes a lot of our health. And we will end it by feeling disappointed and having a bad relationship with ourselves. So these 4 things, I would say: faith, evaluation, self-care, and gratitude. Back to you, Francis.
Thank you so much, Hanan. Faith, evaluation, self-care, and gratitude. 4 very good pillars, equally important pillars to have a wonderful life, a wonderful and persistent life. And that is from Hanan. And lastly, I think it's best if we wrap up the night, okay, with each and every one of us. Tonight we have heard a lot of wonderful gems, and I believe we have learned a lot of lessons from one another. And I want to bring us back to the heart of our conversation, where we have seen how persistence shapes leaders, movements, and even Toastmasters itself. But let's look forward for a moment. Since we already talked about the past right now, I want to talk about the future as our final question for the night. So for both of you speakers for the night, Hani and Hanan, if persistence is the difference between a dream and a reality, what dream do you believe persistence could help us achieve our world today? I would like to start with Hani.
Francis, in a world where peace, equity, or equality, sustainables are not ideals, but, they are actually realities. While we all have different versions of them, it is important for us to have persistence in having dialogues, innovation, compassion, and that all the dreams that we have could be shared into one big achievement, no matter what field it is. While we may share a vision or may not share a vision, understanding that a dream is where you could has no limitation to it. Yet in reality, we have to find ways to make it realize. And to make it realize requires a certain level of understanding, certain level of compassion, execution at one point, and as well as being flexible, as I've mentioned earlier on. Being flexible to the strategies that can keep us ahead into making the dreams bigger and wider, but yet still remain achievable. That's my perspective.
Thank you so much, Hani. And next, Hanan.
What a dream that persistence help us to achieve. Right, this is the question. Okay.
Yes.
The dream that we really want to achieve before our journey in this life ends. This is how can I answer your question. I think we all have lots of dreams, but we have one dream that we really start for it. There's a dream that associated with our core values and a dream, there's a dream also that help us to achieve our goals, our main goals, for me at least, and for some people here and after. Persistence helped me to achieve what I want, what the impact I want to leave in this world, and what type of answer I want to have when I stand up to answer question when this journey ends. I hope you understand what I mean, because I believe I will be questioned about this journey, the whole journey. So I feel persistence is the key that make me keep going to leave the impact that I want to leave and to have the answers that I want to give. That's why I keep going and achieving the dream for my educational journey and for facing all these challenges that I have. So this is my answer for your question. I hope I could answer it properly, sis.
Thank you so much, Hanan. I really love the flair of personal experiences, personal anecdotes that you share with all of us here tonight. And personally, a dream that I believe persistence could actually make it come true, make it a reality, would be Vivid Voices to be known by a lot more people out there. As the lessons and experiences that we share on this platform called Zoom and Toastmasters meeting is beneficial for each and every one of us. And also, everyone, we have come to the end of the night. And it was a really wonderful night it has been. So we begin, let me wrap it up for all of us here. We begin by asking, how can persistence change the world? Who do you admire the most? Why? And tonight we have heard that persistence is not just about stubbornness. It's not all about discipline. It is all about our vision, compassion, flexibility, just like what Hani had just mentioned, and the courage to keep going when no one else sees the result yet. We do also have faith and evaluation.
I think we all can say on behalf of Francis that was a really great discussions that we have when it comes to persistence. Well, I believe we have it, right, Hanan? I think we managed to wrap up the session.